had been 6 months since Artemis, when I first found freedom from disease. Half a year since I took life into myself, since the cold began to gnaw at me like a hunger that never truly fades. But I have learned. I do not take from our goats anymore. Instead, when I feel the chill return, I hunt. Small things, hares, birds, whatever I can catch in the brush. Their warmth is fleeting, never quite enough, but it keeps the worst of the cold at bay. My father's bow has become my tool. I was never strong enough to use it before, but now my limbs obey me in ways they never have. The pull is steady, the aim true, though my hands still tremble with the shivering that comes when I go too long without feeding. I hunt, but not only for me, but for my family. My father beams with pride when I bring home a rabbit or a large fowl for dinner. But it is winter now. The animals have all fled or burrowed deep beneath the frozen earth. No matter how far I walk into the hills, no matter how long I wait in the bitter silence of night, I come back empty-handed. My body grows sluggish, my voice barely a whisper. I cannot let myself fade again. The hunger longs for something bigger, something richer. Lately, I have begun feeding on the neighbors' livestock, but they have grown weary of their missing animals, becoming more watchful, more protective. And I have lasted as long as I can, taking only what was unnoticed, scraps, small things, never enough. Winter has stretched on, and I have grown weaker. I have grown desperate. And I saw her. The neighbor's mother, old and frail, always hunched or sleeping. She hardly stirs anymore. Her breath shallow, her hands tremble even beneath layers of wool. She will not last this season. This is not a job for the bow. Late at night, I find our sharpest blade, and I creep out, the moon looking down on me in earnest. I step inside, as silent as falling snow. She does not wake when I kneel beside her, or when I touch her hand, thin and cold as parchment. There is no fear, no struggle, only a sigh, as if I had taken away a burden too heavy to bear. The warmth floods through me, like an avalanche of heat. The animals gave me life, but this is something more, something better, far better. It is almost too much for my body to contain. I fall against the wall, my head lolls, my eyes roll back, and all is ecstasy. I barely register the footsteps. The first thing I feel is the impact, sharp, sudden, cracking across my skull. My head snaps sideways, and my vision explodes with white. The bliss shattered, replaced by a rush of panic and pain. Rough hands grab at my cloak, yanking me forward. I thrash, twist free, and I scramble backwards on hands and knees. My limbs feel slow and sluggish from the feeding, but the adrenaline surges through me now. I stagger, I turn around and run, but they are after me. Shouts fill the night as I slam the door open, the cold air burning my throat as I stumble into the yard, boots slipping against the frozen ground. Another voice joins the first, anger rising like a storm. I barely make it to our property before something slams into my back. I hit the ground, hard, my breath ripped from my lungs, hands grab at me, dragging me onto my knees. A fist crashes into my ribs. I choke on my own breath. Another blow, cracked across my face. I try to rise, but a boot catches me in the stomach, driving me back down. I curl in on myself as the kicks come, dull and distant at first, but now the pain is sharp and real. Something hard slams into my side, and pain explodes through me, knocking me sideways. My ears ring. Breath comes out in ragged gasps as I try to push myself up, but hands keep pulling me back down. I look around and see my attackers. the husband and son of the woman I had just slain. The son holds me down while his father gathers a large stone to smash upon my head. I try to pull away, but the son pins me down as his father now stands above me, raising the large rock over his head. I ready myself for the impact and for the pain. But before the stone comes crashing down, I hear the high-pitched whistle of an arrow, followed by a sharp thwack, a groan, and the rock in the old man falls harmlessly to the ground. The weight of the sun shifts atop me, and I hear his frightened footsteps as he begins to flee. Then another sharp twang cuts through the night, followed immediately by a yelp, and the unforgettable sound of his body falling onto the ground, an arrow protruding from his back. I turn and look, and illuminated in the moonlight, I see my father, bow in hand. I say little as we pack. My father tells us we have to be on the road before dawn. He gives my mother what little money and food we have and hands me his bow, an heirloom that was meant to be given on a much happier occasion. My mother begs him to come with us, but he refuses, saying he has to look after the farm and take care of what has happened tonight. She swears to him that we will be back soon, that she will get me help. They embrace. I fear for the last time. With what little we can carry, we set out for Delphi. In one hand, I clutch my father's bow. In my other, I cling to my idol of Apollo that my mother whittled for me in what feels like 100 summers ago. The road is long in the unforgiving cold, but we have no choice. All the way, she clings to her faith. Apollo will provide, that his light will not abandon us. But faith does not fill an empty purse or an empty belly, and we have little else. When we arrive, the great city seems indifferent to our struggle. We make our way to the temple, hoping our meager coin is enough to appease the oracle. Miraculously, the coin is enough to consult the seer, but Apollo demands more than just monetary appeasement. He desires a blood sacrifice. Typically, a goat. The irony is not lost on me. Under the names of Glaucus and Irene, we find a lodging at an inn, but we can't afford to stay long. My mother speaks of seeking work at the temple. Perhaps she can even manage to gain favor with the priests and they can help us. Or maybe even work at the inn to help cover the costs for our lodging. I listen, but my thoughts are elsewhere. Now that the panic of the fight has worn off and the adrenaline from our escape, I'm finally able to take stock of this strange steadiness in my bones. Beyond the bruising, which doesn't ache quite as it should, there is a quiet hum beneath my skin, like a lyre string, plucked and left to vibrate. I could run through these streets, climb the Pythian path to the great temple itself and not feel winded. My voice is clear and strong. I hold out my hand. Steady. I am steady. I glance at the people moving through the street. Pilgrims clutching their offerings, priests in long robes, traders weighing their goods. Gold flows in Delphi like a river. And here I stand, stronger than ever. I will not be weak. I will not be a burden. I will pay back my mother for the harm that I have done. And for my father, for the debt that I owe to him. I will find a way to repay them. It is time to take advantage of this newfound strength in this city of wonder and opportunity. And all that is left is to decide where to begin.